what we're going to do next is a little bit of an open mic. So a few poets who they came as audience to enjoy the launch and support us, but they fancied a read as well. So we just got a little bit of open mic session for them. They've sort of emailed me beforehand. We'll see what time is like at the end. If someone's really desperate to read, just give me a shout right at the end, and maybe we can add you on. I think we've got 8 people. That's about right for the time, I reckon. So without further ado, can we welcome up our first open mic poet from Coventry, John Greatrex.
Good evening. I'm going to read a poem from my new second edition that's just come out of the Carillon collection. It's called Easter Rising of the Green Man. I shall come again at Easter, wearing robes of green, rise again when spring comes and my glory shall be seen. Did you think I died, like an autumn leaf falling from the sky? Believe me, when I tell you I did not, could not die. All you saw was the lifeless husk, a skin that needed shedding, some yellow-brown confetti thrown to celebrate the wedding of aging summer and his winter bride. I am with you always, only your faith has died. So look for me at Easter when the fog and snow have gone. Seek, and you will find me here where I belong. Thank you.
Nicely read, John. If you want to drop a link to the book or anything in the chat, go for it. Send people to have a look. Thank you very much. And another representative of Cov there in the open mic. Cheers, John. Next, welcome up Hermione Sandall, who's like a regular at our Fire and Dust, but not from Coventry.
Hi, everyone. I wrote this poem after seeing a play. It was called Greek by Stephen Berkov. You know the story of Oedipus, who killed his father and married his mother and then became king, and nothing was right in the kingdom after that because of the wrong at the top. And this play was quite scary because halfway through the audience was became part of it. Oedipus is called Eddie. Oedipus and the orchestra. The orchestra files onto the stage, smart and anonymous in appropriate black. The pianist, just a pair of shiny black shoes under a shiny black Steinway. Even the bass saxophonist, whose horn has an elaborate sheepshank flourishing in its brass neck, wears a sombre Windsor knot round his own. The double bassist is clearly in disguise as a bank clerk, while the lead violin frowningly taps across rhythm. The conductor, bald, slim, self-effacing, slips into a bald, slim hole. He is bang, though this is too loud a word, bang in the middle of our vision, but we do not see him. The sober-sided musicians dutifully saw and thump and puff, unfazed when a disturbance at the back of the audience vomits out a violently swearing young thug you wouldn't want to share a railway carriage with. He goes on stage and the whole sorry business gets underway. Eddie leaves home, flees more like, and the 80s get into full swing. Aggression, division roar across the valleys like rutting stags. The neat violinist sprouts a riot shield, thunders on it with a truncheon. The bank clerk, bassist, and the shiny-shoed pianist swing megaphones up from under their seats, tinnily instruct us, the unruly crowds, while the blue lights splash on the walls. The violist winds football rattle, and everyone looks to the invisible conductor. The mood lightens. The orchestra allows itself a grin. The family is reunited. Have you come far? Wonderful to see you. You're looking well. How do you keep so young? Did you have a good journey? Surely you've lost weight, and it tails into embarrassed. For all is not good. It is far from good. Rubbish fills the streets. There are maggots, rats. Soon there may be laws against stroking your lover's body for fear of infection. Innocence sickens like the rose. His father, mother, wife shrink from Eddie. He shrinks from himself. And behind, the impassive musicians, sober, professional sob out his elegy. Thank you.
Thanks, Hermione. I've always enjoyed the sort of storytelling style of your poems and the very nice soothing delivery as well. So you've got a lovely poet's voice. Thanks very much for sharing that. Can we welcome up next? He's a Fire and Dust regular. We've not seen him on Zoom in a while. Hopefully this is him back for good. Dangermouse, please.
All right. Sorry, I've been fidgeting a lot. I don't have a seat. I've just been like, okay. I don't want to give away the name of this because it'll ruin it. It pulses from on high, yet it's beneath your feet that stir, stalking, knowing just where to cut throat's thread, choking down a slither of apple. It quakes rubble, nestling, notching spines, washing through the airways, a sweet scent through viridian blades. But it's the wind's promise of grimoire that saddles every tooth. The eye wax and wanes, manacled to fool's gold highways. Purple horizon streaks and sheaths to meet furrowed brows. Charge forward. A shroud of madness wakes away with our youth, with a chance to be thwarted by a brightness only spread wings can bear. Feathered tongues long for that taste of sky. Just clouds pale in comparison to the bite of flying too close to the sun. That's that one done. I do have one more. Now, this is Word in Town. The old monsters are dead. Witch trials and pack tactics all went the way of blood-soaked canvas. Doctorates crusted shovels inseparable from abomination. No other creatures in front of us. Colourless chameleons they hide. They stalk beneath a veil of kind eyes, assuages the measures of the weary to thrall. As pride goeth before the fall, the bell of the ball always taps to a melody, even at a whisper. Pirouettes and two-steps, a fistful of shells and itchy trigger fingers and a flash of bad press. The siren rests easy on the rocks, initiating intrigue's ingress, only dressed in the finest sheep's clothing. Wade's bottle-capped smiles and stale perfume, throwing caution to sins like a kite in a catchwind of silence that can only come from torn-out wings. But it's not over till the fat lady sings. Blindside blades backstab gentle as paper cuts. It's all the better to eat you with. As the people stare, give us some room, give us some air. Inhale the scene, but steer clear of the one who talks like a rocking chair, tells tales that could grow arm hair, that just pretend I'm not here. Don't look for blackened hoods. The new monsters don't live in the woods. The old monsters are dead. You need not look for their crimes. The real monsters would have had you distracted this whole time. Thank you.
Good stuff, Dangermouse. Always great to hear some new work from you. Looking forward to more of that in the future. Can we welcome up next Lantern Carrier, please? He's been saying lovely things in the chat for everybody. Very supportive audience member.
Spirit of my mother. Today she wore no masks, just natural beauty, spinning from a heart of towering love. I washed her hair, those gray strands reminding me of the silvery moon, of endurance, fortitude, of the many years of struggle. Her eyes, the seat of the soul, spoke of an empress of great resilience, concern, and self-giving amidst almost impossible odds. The glazed stain of the cataracts was still there, memories of a dark wine-cold diabetes that attacked her brain, her islets of Langerhans, made her legs like dark clouds reeling from the ails of neuropathy. I washed her face, her sturdy hands and neck. They showed signs of a queen who was born to bear, to love, to pay a heavy price for loving. Her face was dignified, filled with the majesty of an empress who bore life's challenges without complaint. Yet the numerous invisible scars she carried were still there, her merits waiting to be read in paradise for unstoppable and speechless deeds of one who gave so much, yet asked for so little. Her palm and fingers carried the marks of diligence, of sheer hard work, as did her bosom, shielding the immaculate and curvaceous mammary glands that served to offer all to her 7 wonderful children. There they lay, still dignified with age, stately as the stretch marks on her waistline, the glint of heaven which still shone in her eyes, her cheeks and glistening smile of constant laughter in the face of heavy and almost unbearable odds. I offered her the soap and flannel. She still had the gift of being able to use her left hand, and though she did not speak, it was important to me to maintain her self-esteem, respect, and decorum as she washed her middle beneath the sheets. This was a woman who lived for us, like the cosmos to Mother Gaia, her golden tears like rain nourishing our roots, her smile and service, a radiant sunrise, feeding our petals and blossoms with incandescent delight. I washed the rest of her body, knowing that the spirit of a fire was with us, was with me, with us, that the dust of her life would linger long after she was gone, still paving our diamond paths for much brighter tomorrows. O light, my awakening light, you that adorn the core of my mother's soul with your magnificence, come. Je t'aime, yo te quiero, mi querida madre, nakupenda mama, medo wo papa. Ay, Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Great performance there, Lantern Carrier. Cheers for sharing that with us. There was some sort of sad and moving stuff going on, but the details and the imagery were so rich. I was still sort of swept away in it. Yeah, it's very nice.
I wrote this for Fire and Dust. It may turn up in the anthology.
Oh, excellent. That's good news. I'll keep an eye out. Cheers, mate. Thanks for joining us for this event. It's very nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Can we wrap up next? Apologies if I butcher your surname. David Villegas, please.
Sure thing. Hello. Can you hear me all? Yep. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I want to first give a quick shout out to Stan, the last artist from the Twin Cities, yeah, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting the name, but basically how you said about your poem about the Spirit 79 and two-tone ska. I don't know if anyone saw in the chat where basically my childhood years were basically I've just encountered cheap $5 American dollars CD where I've listened to two-tone ska, and that just changed my childhood forever. Basically, I became an Anglophile. So yeah, not your typical American. And so yeah, for this poem, for some background, this poem I written back this past January 5th, and basically I signed up for a different open mic, and it was intended for that, but I keep still coming here because, as you can see, it was written on January 5th, and sorry, but basically, if you know what happened the next day, at least in Washington, D.C., the capital of the U.S., it's still haunting for many people. So I'll go. It's titled Emotionless Society. People glued to the television, shocked at the daily instance of death. Emotions are plentiful. It's like a discovery happens every day. Yet for me, this is what happens when you turn most people into somewhere between a human and a robot. The Puritans and Pilgrims arrived here claiming to create a utopia under the rule of the Almighty God. The UK and Ireland never left the brutal tactics placed by Oliver Cromwell and his allies. Max Weber wrote a long while ago his book titled The Ethics of Protestantism and the Spirit of Capitalism. Centuries of people being told to let it go or face the consequences. Both American and British expansionism were mighty only because of savage methods. This utopia from God forgot one of the main ingredients of our religions, forgiveness. The idea of forgiveness feels so foreign to our shared Anglophone culture. When you get married to the idea of violence, you get a short burst of pride that extinguishes by itself. No wonder political movements come and go because of their inability of tackling emotions at the present time. I argue that the philosopher kills more than the person with the firearm. Before, people in public would sarcastically laugh like their good times were immortal. Now the repercussions of past actions have cut us off guard. No wonder this pandemic feels like a reckoning from God. A history nerd like me can recount how the ancient Roman Empire was violent and emotionally insensitive. Today, both of these empires are on the brink of self-destruction. So yeah, just in case, you might have seen my accent change a bit, but I guess this is what happens when we have 3 or 4 accents coming from my vocal parts. That's all. Thank you.
Cheers, David. I think that's the first time we've heard your words at Fire and Dust. It was, yeah, that was some interesting stuff. Bit of history, bit of Ireland and England, and some, yeah, a whole lot of global stuff as well. Yeah, some deep layers there. I like the punchy style of your lines as well. Very nice. Cheers for sharing that with us. Can we welcome up next? Another Coventry poet, who I believe is actually going to really represent Cov in this one. Khizra Bano, please.
Hey Rafe, hi everyone. So I went just before lockdown, I went to Texas with work, and I met a bunch of Texan cops, and they didn't think that Coventry was a real place. So they'd heard the phrase, send me to Coventry, or send someone to Coventry, and they really thought that that Coventry was kind of like hell or prison, or, you know, just, I wasn't gonna argue with them because they all had guns. So I did what I normally do when I'm pissed off. I wrote a poem. Here's a poem. Why do they say that they'll send you to Coventry like it's a threat? Well, then today, I'll tell you the story of how we met and of what she means to me. City of light, city of liberty, my Coventry. Orphaned girl woman, 16 years old, fled a forced marriage, but bombs of control, bombs of their cruelty, bombs of misogyny, under attack by faith and by family, tore through my citadel, ruined my walls, but I didn't fall, like she didn't fall. City of fortitude and of resilience, send me to Coventry. Homeless and frightened, broken and broke, I found myself running blindly from harm on the 900 bus with a £2 ticket into Pool Meadow and into her arms. And unlike the others, she never rejected me. She knew my faults and always accepted me. City of freedom and city of hope, my saviour city. Send me to Coventry. And there I worked until 4 every night at Annabelle's, earning the right to crawl bleary-eyed to B Block, where I sat every morning and tried to divert my destiny, invoke the best in me, and I wasn't leaving without that degree. I took courage, you see, from Coventry's first lady. Strident, defiant, she rode naked through these streets to divert the destiny of her people. Because nothing is inevitable in the face of tenacity. Let's not forget this is Godiva's city, city of courage and of audacity. Send me to Coventry. I bought my first home in Vine Street, 73, a tiny terrace and garden just for me. She'd found me at rock bottom, and it was surprising that, like her cathedral spires, I was finally rising. Oh, city of aspiration and elevation, send me to Coventry. First donned my uniform on Fossil Road. My beat was a colourful, vibrant, magical blend of diversity, and in adversity, I was their friend and their champion. I carried the load of their local worries, which became mine. My tea stops were Afghan and Indian and Polish, and in happy times we shared a samosa or orange jalebi at the Standard Sweet Centre, till the radio summoned me to some other part of this city of heart, this city of coming together and of community. Send me to Coventry. The happiest days of my life when my daughters were born at Walsgrave Hospital, Tired and torn, I gazed on their baby soft faces and promised them this: it'll be different for you, little miss, little miss. There's much left to tackle, habitual fears. The breaking of shackles is music to my ears, and your Coventry girls, so you'll conquer it. You'll conquer it. She's shown me the worst and the best of humanity, nursed me to health, and she's raised me to self. I owe her my freedom, my life, and my sanity, city of purpose and power, limitless city of love, city of dreams, and City of Culture 2021 by Coventry.
Thank you for sharing that one, Khizra. I think we've done well. We had some tributes to Cork and some tributes to Coventry, so very suitable for tonight.